Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Poker's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. Just waiting for Kent to log in. Well, what a night, eh? What a night. Here's Kent. Pop, pop, bang. Hello, Kent. How you doing? All right, mate. All right, mate. Kent, are you there, mate?
Yes, that's me, Russell.
Yeah, what do you think then? What a night. What happened there? We break top at end, screaming like a banshee and Don Charles.
Oh,
What
go
happened?
to Don Charles. He's the best.
He's the best, the Dark Lord. What
The
happened?
king, the king of the body punches, eh?
Hey, Jesus. Well, listen, you do know a body punch. You don't have to get your in ball split to be lowest. Below the belly button, the bladder line, isn't it? That's the class as low blow if you're not bladder, isn't it? And his shorts were low anyway.
I thought it was borderline. I thought it was obviously it was borderline from my opinion,
Well,
but the
you're going to
referee
take
is
real
in.
pretty smooth, aren't you? Before the
It's
fight, Frank
boxing.
Warren said Lewis Pabon was best referee in business.
You know, it's one of them situations where you go back to football. Football's got VAR now. It's completely out of the referee's hands.
Yeah.
Any decision. So rugby's the same. Rugby has been like that for 15 years. They have been using that technology. So for the referee, for them to expect the referee to score that as a knockdown in basically U6 backyard, it's homecoming in a football stadium with 50,000 people riding on it and with potentially one of the biggest gruesome boxing fights in history. This is a heavyweight fight, potentially one of the biggest fights in history, you know, modern day history, and financially massive. That was never, ever, ever going to happen. Never, never.
Well, aren't they supposed to get home advantage bricked up? He always used to say that Eddie Hearn takes fighters abroad, takes the TV money, and don't get home advantage. Well, what have they done? They didn't put the money up, did they?
No, and to be honest with you, if you think about it, what would Frank Warren rather have? Would he rather have a pay per view and a gate with Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, or a Dubois Usyk rematch? What makes more financial sense? What is a lot better for everyone in that sense?
Listen, the bar's got a dig on him. We're not saying he ain't got a dig on him, but let's have it right. He won round 5 and he had a share of round 3.
I give him round 5. Personally, I didn't give him round 3.
Well, I give him a
I
share of
thought he came into the round a lot more now. You just seen what Usyk does. He does it so well. He's got that lead hand. It just hypnotizes you. It goes left, right, center. Then he steps off. He pivots, and it's the same again. And you get into that pattern of just watching where that lead hand's going, and he always finds angles with that lead hand and everything. You know you're in trouble when Usyk's landing his lead hand really early because everything else comes off, you know, his lead hand. He's landing that. He'll hit you with any shot. And you've seen that in the first round, he even landed a lead hand jab to the body. And that just shows you how confident he was. Fundamentally, he is really, really good, really hard to beat. He done it tonight. Dubois had a massive chance in round 5 just to go right at him and throw body shots, just go caution to the wind. But you've seen round 6, 7, and 8, Dubois kind of got hypnotized again with that jab, with that lead hand. And it was to the point where Dubois was just trying to headhunt because he was just watching that lead hand constantly. Usyk absolutely knackers fighters because he constantly has you thinking. He's constantly moving. He's constantly setting things up. And tonight, you've seen that you know Dubois had a big chance there, and he just basically didn't he outthinked him, and he completely took that away from him. And That just goes to show you fundamentally his skill set is just amazing.
I've got a bee in my bonnet about Shane McGuigan. I know he's from Irish stock like you, but this is how I look at it. Why is he even around saying the bar knocks him out and all that? When really, because he's training his sister, isn't he?
He has to say that. There's no way that if he turns around and says, "Yeah, Usyk's gonna run right through him, late rounds, he'll quit. He'll quit in the stool, or he'll knock him out, or he'll catch him." That's the sister. He's getting the Dear John letter in Sunday morning. That's why he's been saying that all week.
Yeah, well, if he'd have said that Daniel DeBar loses against Usyk, the sister would have been gone, wouldn't she?
Completely gone. You have to. I understand why.
They lose the marbles, don't they? And the man in the mirror moment, don't they? They lose it all, don't they? They lose the shit, don't they? Over stuff like this, trainers.
It's their business. It's his job. The more fighters he has at championship level, the more he gets paid. And it kind of about a month ago, he was saying that it was going to be a big ask. You go back and you look at the interviews on Boxing Social with Danny, he's always saying that it's a big ask for him. Usyk's a really good fighter. He's half step in range, half step out of range. He's lethal. He's really up against it into the last 2 weeks. Usyk's an old fighter, and Daniel's going to knock him out.
Okay, then what about Bricktop saying it's Fury next and Usyk in New Year? This is what he said on Wednesday, right? Fair enough, Bricktop. Now he's screaming for a rematch and he's going to seek WBO and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Look, they ain't got a rematch clause. Just give us Undisputed, then do what you want with belts.
There's no rematch next, and there's no Tyson Fury next. It's Filip Hrgovic next. That's the IBF mandatory.
Yeah, and that's Eddie Hearn's fighter and Callis, isn't it?
Yeah. If that doesn't happen, listen, the IBF haven't been paid in a year. The last time they got a sanction, the last mandatory they had was when was it? So we know that the story with the IBF.
Joshua and Usyk the last sanction and they got off heavyweights, wasn't it? Which was a year ago, wasn't it?
A year ago last week. So it was. So they need paid. I don't know what the money, after Hrgovic's last performance, it was absolutely diabolical. So it was, Russell. So I don't know who's.
They're going to try and stop it, aren't they? They're going to try and put obstacles in place. Why can't they just make it and get it over? Because we've had this now for over 20 years, haven't we? It just when it looks like we're going to get it now, they're saying January, February. They're trying to put obstacles in front for it to be took away from the fans yet again, isn't it? It's the same old shit from these promoters, isn't it?
It's the same shit shite as
they're going to scream about this till the cows come home. This low blow knackers. Listen, if they punch you, let me just say it again. If they punch you in the ball, they don't have to punch you in the balls for it to be low. They can punch you on the bladder, can't they? Right, and it depends on the position of his shorts, doesn't it?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, it happened, four rounds after he got knocked out. He had a chance then, he didn't take it. It was a chance he had. It was
no fitness as well. He won't. He didn't look like a 12-round fighter, does he?
He's just a massive guy. He's a fast twitch fighter. Dubois, really, really fast twitch fighter. You just look at his genetics. You just look at his genetics.
Don't move his head, Ken. Don't move his head.
He hasn't moved his head with anyone, Russell. He did move his head with Martin Bowers. He didn't move his head with Shane. He doesn't move his head with Don Charles and Ali Bashir. I think he's one of them fighters that Shane said that you can coach him and coach him and coach him until the cows come home. And when he goes, he just always reverts back to what he knows. Yeah. And it's the same. He hasn't improved from day one, in my opinion. He hasn't improved. He's a big puncher. He's one of them fighters that, he really needs to get you out there for the first 6 rounds. And after that, that gauge of power just goes. Because to be honest with you, he just goes in the oxygen there. He's just now I thought he looked a bit fitter this time, but when you're in against Usyk, he mentally and physically drains you because he's constantly got you thinking and moving and working, and he just nullified. You just seen what he done tonight. He just completely nullified Dubois' his strengths.
Do you think? Do you think, Kent, that he's Dubois a bit like Frank Bruno?
I think Frank Bruno had a good job and a good backhand, but I thought he was just very robotic. I don't think he's as robotic as Frank Bruno. Now, if you go back and you watch the Lennox Lewis fight and you watch how good Bruno was for 4 or 5 rounds, landing the job. I've never seen Lennox Lewis get hit with as many jobs. Then that was it. But every one of them rounds, those 5 and 6 rounds, he was near that 100% capacity, where you're kind of at 100% capacity, maybe getting the championship rounds, not the first 5 and 6. So I think he's a bit less robotic than Frank Bruno, but talking about head movement wise, it's always in that line. His head is never off that line, never.
Well, he's been knocked out twice now.
You could just see what Usyk was doing with the jab. He was fencing the jab, he was flicking the jab, and he was finding angles through the guard. And the reason he was finding angles through the guard is it wasn't because of where his hands were, it's where his head was. It was constantly on the line the whole time. You could see him even pivoting off, like punching, punching off the pivot constantly. And you do that with a fighter that doesn't move his head, and he done that all fight. To be honest with you, Russell, you could see that the punch that won the fight was a jab, and you've seen how far it travelled, and that was because Daniel doesn't move his head.
Right. He's been down now in his career, Daniel Dubois, 7 times. Do we put him in the chinny bracket?
That the punches that night that hurt him before he was stopped was right in the top of the head again. It was the same sort of shots that Kevin Lorena hurt him with.
Yeah.
So it was. So they've been working on that. That's an area that they had been working on. 7 times as a heavyweight. There is question marks over your punch resistance. Kevin Lorena never fought at heavyweight before. Not anybody at note at heavyweight, and was a small heavyweight was a southpaw. I just think it's that thing where your head's on that line the whole time, and you're constantly taking shots while you're taking jabs, while you're taking backhands, while you're taking lead hand hooks. His style and the way he boxes, he's going to take shots. No matter who he's being coached by, he's always going to take shots.
Yeah.
Joe Joyce couldn't miss him. Joe Joyce couldn't miss him with a jab at all. And, Joe Joyce is very robotic. It's the same type of repetitive movement over and over and over. And it's actually really easy to counter because there's no variation in the pace of the shots. It's the same type of power the whole time. And he doesn't move his head. And he just found Daniel a sitting duck with a jab again. And he's a slow heavyweight.
He is slow. It was like his feet were in quicksand, wasn't it?
Yeah. I thought that there were shots tonight he could have thrown. Like he could have threw the right hand to miss the land with a left hook. That's the shot that had a southpaw. That's the best shot. Throw that backhand at an angle, so your lead foot is in that position to land the left hand, and he didn't do that. Didn't do that once. So
how far are we away from an undisputed now? Because Fury's got Ngannou and he's got a rematch clause. So how far are we away now, Kent, from getting undisputed?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go on.
Much is Tyson Fury getting for the Ngannou fight?
I think it's about 25 million net, I've heard on Grapevine. That's after everybody's been paid.
Well, that answers the question.
So
it does.
Match, aren't they? Yeah, so he's got
Uh,
50
uh,
million for 2 fights, then, hasn't
Against a guy that lost in the UFC, convincingly lost. You go back and you watch, you see all these highlight reels of Francis Ngannou, beating the likes of
he?
Alistair
That's in a
Overeem
cage,
and
isn't it? Not in a ring.
knocking guys out. But you go back and you look at his loss. One of his losses was to Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
And Derek Lewis is what they would call in MMA terms a striker.
Yeah.
He's a big hitter. He's the most finishes at heavyweight in the UFC.
Yeah.
You go back and you watch Ngannou against Derek Lewis, and you tell me that he's a chance against Tyson Fury. He hasn't a chance at all. No chance. No way.
Yeah. What did you think to Don Charles screaming at top of his voice when Michelle Phelps put microphone in him? Think of that, Ken?
Well, I would rather listen to Don Charles scream at the top of his voice than listen to anything Michelle Joy Phelps says, to be honest
She was
with
going
you.
to be a lawyer or something. Is she back on seeing me boxing now?
To be honest with you, I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
I just don't like her, to be honest with you. I don't listen to any of her content, and I'm just sick of people in boxing that being in the position and talking about boxing that don't actually know anything about it.
Yeah. Does Dubois go back to Shane McGuigan?
I don't know. I don't think anything. I said from day one, Russell. I said from day one that there was people coming on this channel and talking about how great Daniel Dubois looked with Shane, and I didn't see any of that. Like I didn't see. To be honest with you, Russell, I didn't see any improvement with Daniel Dubois with Shane McGuigan than he was with Martin Bowers at all. None. The opposition he's fighting. You look at how to build a fighter, okay, and we have spoke about this before. Fighters now jump up a level, get themselves into a mandatory. Daniel Dubois won a vacant British. He won a vacant British. He couldn't win a European title. He got beat by Joe Joyce, and that fight was probably let's be honest, it was his step-up fight.
What's his best win now, Dubois? When all said and done, screaming and shouting for rematch, what is his best win on paper?
He fought a guy that sounds like he was an extra out of Sopranos. He beat Bob Dandino, who is atrocious. We've seen atrocious. We've seen Richard Latte, who's a better diver than Tom Daly. They're not credible wins.
With diving jokes.
I remember listening to Terry in the Beautiful Boxing podcast 2 years ago, and he talked about, and it's true, and you talk about investing in your fighter. Okay, so and investing in your fighter means that you invest in the opposition that's going to get them to where they need to be, and I don't think Frank Warren has invested in the opposition that was going to get Daniel Dubois to the point where he could handle tonight. Now, you can't really prepare for anybody like Alexander Usyk.
He could have done going in with somebody like Caballel, couldn't
he? Yeah. Even Caballel, somebody like Amarius Vac, and I'm talking 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago. It's no good bringing somebody in and wiping them out in 1 or 2 rounds. You look at the investment that they put into him after the Joe Joyce loss, and it was the same opposition. It was just guys coming in, right hand, left hook, straight in, not first class ticket to orbit. That's not going to prepare you for latter rounds of a championship fight. And it's always down to the media, and the media want to hear, this guy's 20 fights and 20-0, and get him in for a title. That doesn't mean them rounds don't mean anything. It means jack shit when you get the championship rounds. I thought they should have invested in better opposition, guys that he wasn't just going to run right through. And tonight we seen it. We seen that he kind of fell out of what was getting him the success. and he didn't have that experience tonight. And as I say, you're not going to have that experience against, a fighter like Alexander Usyk, but better experiences would have helped him better tonight.
Yeah. Bricktop's performance at the end is going to scream and scream and scream all week, and all we're going to have Talk Sport, IFL, they're going to wheel them all out to scream robbery. What about Carl Thompson, Johnny Nelson? What about justice for Carl Thompson in that one?
The very fact that night the referee, it was his first ever championship fight. That should never have, a fight of that. There was should have that was a. I'll ask you this, Russell. Why is it not on YouTube on Frank Warren's channel? Why is it not?
They took it off, didn't they? Because it was Ring Mag didn't want. What's it? Ring Magazine or one of them websites voted it a magazine voted it the worst stoppage of the 90s, wasn't it?
It was a terrible travesty. And you look at Carl Thompson, who done it on the road, done it, champs camp fighter, Manchester fighter, done it on the road. He went and beat
Usyk on the road. He hasn't fought in Ukraine since 2015.
Yeah, and the win that Thompson went to Germany in the 90s, Russell, and beat Jocko Johnny. Yeah, and that
well, look at Pat Barrett and Robin Reed winning big titles in Italy.
Massive,
They were told you've got to go out there and win by knockout, or you'll not get a decision, weren't they? Brian Hughes told them, and they did the business, didn't they? Pat Barrett and Robin Reed.
Massive. I remember Robbins. I remember it was on Sky, and he beat Nardiello.
Bean had an orgasm, didn't he? Do you remember?
Massive.
Bean's orgasm ringside.
Runner bean, could have been, should have been, creepy.
Never been, baked bean, beanie. Uncle Stilts game, we're on to you.
But I remember watching
Bean popped his cherry, didn't he, on Sky Live?
Oh my word, that's not even worth thinking about, Russell. But
he has done it.
But
there's the power.
Yeah, cacophony of noise, a symphony of sound. But it's going to be another week, and you know what, Russell? I love it.
The respect.
I love it. I love the chaos of it all, because you know what?
Chaos. Listen, I've never seen all like that in my life. And listen, at the end of the day, Bricktop's been embarrassing himself all week. He's been talking Undisputed, and then when it come down to it, Usyk's now saying, yeah, let's do Undisputed. They're saying, oh, no, we want the bar. They want to put more obstacles in front. Get over it. There's no rematch clause. Get over it. The better man won on the night. Your man won a round and had a share of one. Pop, pop, poppity pop.
It's at the time he had it, but it was 4 or 5 rounds after it happened. It wasn't like he got hit with a shot, he went down, and then he come back and caught him right away after it. He had 4 or 5 rounds after that to finish the fight, and he didn't. And
what about Omar Vantage, Kent? What about Omar Vantage at Copper Box?
Your call.
At the Copper Box. What's that? Well, Frank always goes on about Omar Vantage, doesn't he?
They get it at the Your Call.
Yeah, Your Call, small or promoter. Listen, we're not saying Frank doesn't know what he's doing, but let's have it right. You've got to take rough with smooth. You've got to play to referee's decision. If the boot is on the other foot, what would have happened?
You go back to it, Russell, right? You go back to the very first fight with Wilder and Fury. The count was about 20. So
yeah, the count was 23, wasn't it?
They're not talking about that,
they
are
were
they?
Down 23 from hitting the deck to waving it back on. It were 23 seconds, wasn't it? We were counting it. I did it on my channel, didn't I? 23 seconds, Bricktop, from hitting deck to get it to play starting again, the fight starting again. So don't talk about referees. What about the Otto Walling fight? Hey? They got away with that one from by the skin of the teeth.
Yeah.
And don't
Yeah.
forget, you don't have to hit your balls for it to be a low blow. His shorts are low anyway. And let's have it right. Whether it's borderline or not, the referee called it. So pop, pop, bang, you've got to get on with it. And I've said
It was.
round 9, so I'm on a high.
I text Richard and I said around 8 or 9. So I'm not going to go into specifics. I'm kind of happy,
Yeah, well,
I
I pinned it
predicted.
on my
Yeah,
channel on that Coogan video earlier. And if you look now, it says 8 hours ago. I pinned it. Pop, pop, poppity, pop.
yeah, yeah. It was. It's going
I've
to be
not
a
picked
fun week.
around for ages, Ken.
Yeah, I went through a bit of a period there
Then you went
where
round 8 or 9. You didn't go 9. So stop trying to
no,
change it.
no. I'm not gonna have splinters in my arse. I'm gonna say it. I said 8 or 9. Okay, so don't worry. I'm not pulling splinters
Hey,
out of my
listen, he
arse.
did drop
It
him
was
in
8 or 9.
8th, though, Kent, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he
And he
did.
didn't really want it after that first dropping, did he?
It's just that there when you're getting hit from
Different
multiple
angles.
angles, and I've said it before, when Usyk pivots and he punches off it, there's nobody that does that better than Alexander Usyk.
What
No
about
one.
them body shots that Usyk were giving him back in 6th and 7th? He were going to body, wasn't he, Usyk?
He was topping lead hand body shot head, lead hand body shot head, pivot. It's just
He went
it's
full through
beautiful.
repertoire, didn't he, Kent?
Yeah, yeah. It was just like he landed the first shot and the second shot landed right away. It was beautiful. It was a great perform. Well, it's probably not the most vintage. We're saying this now, but I give Dubois 1 round.
Yeah, we'll give it 50.
1 round.
The bar at
And
end, they were all screaming robbery and all that. I felt for him like at the end of the day because he'd been punched upside down on it basically, right, for 9 rounds. But you can't scream robbery like that, man. He had ample time to do the business, and he didn't do it. They didn't have the game plan. Whether the trainer didn't set him a proper, you can't just shout "look at body" and that be a game plan because any trainer
that
can say that, can't
anybody
they?
could say that. It's like playing a football match and saying, right, get it
Lump
over the
it down
top,
to number 9.
over the top. That's the game plan. You're not gonna win. You're gonna win fuck all
Yeah.
with saying over the top. And to be honest with you, there should have been a selection of shots for me, like the right hand, the body left hook. That's a great shot against a southpaw, or the shot that you throw the right hand to miss, where the foot's in the position to throw the left hook. That's a great shot. Or step in close and just use your lead hand. And they didn't really do that. And as I say, they had that chance in round 5, massive chance, and they didn't take it off that. And Usyk just, as I say, it's like he's like a snake charmer.
Yeah.
He just hypnotizes you with that lead hand, and he just fell into that rhythm of Usyk, where he was trying to match him with headshots, where really should have been going to the body and throwing. There should have been specific shots to go to the body, just as you say, just yeah, go to the body. Yeah, well, what do you mean go to the body? Like, what shot are you telling me to throw?
Yeah, what Usyk, I was mesmerized by watching him. He's like Mozart, isn't he, Kent?
He's brilliant. He's just an exquisite fighter, technician. He found a way to win. Tonight was amazing fundamentals, amazing ring IQ. He's an AI, boxing IQ as I call it, and he used his experience tonight. And I think if as you say, if the specifics and it's like this here, if the specialisms would have been better tonight from Dubois, he could have had more success, and they didn't. That it wasn't specialisms as in it should have been specific shots would have been a lot better tonight rather than just wing into the body. And at that stage he had just stopped even going to the body, as I say, with Usyk was just fencing and pawing and right, left, middle, through the guard. It's mesmerizing.
What do you think to card as a whole, Kent?
Trash,
What do you think to chief support?
trash,
What was that
abysmal,
about? The geezer didn't
Ab-
throw a punch.
absolutely abysmal. It's probably the worst. It's probably one of the worst cards I've ever seen, to be honest with you.
What about that Hamza Shiraz? He's going to struggle against David Bentley, isn't he?
Well, they were talking about, how good he was and how
So
devastating he
Tommy Hearn,
was.
they're putting him like Tommy Hearn. Who's he beat?
He fought a guy that looked like he had a white collar fight. Let's be honest. Guy was on a white collar fighter.
Once they were
Probably
talking it up as a 50-50 his fight, wasn't it? And
guy could
your
move.
man, Carl Frampton, he were bigging it up as a tough fight. He did. To be fair to Buncey and Frampton, they called it straight with Nazim Ahmed's brat, didn't they? But he's not going to endear his centre fans carrying off like that when he's fighting a waste man, white collar job, is he?
That was dire. That was. Let's put it right, Russell. He fought a guy, right, whose corner couldn't even throw the towel in.
That was one of the worst pay-per-view cards I've ever watched in my life.
It was abysmal. It was abysmal.
I'm glad it was free. Pop, pop, bang.
Russell,
Yeah.
that was abysmal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was abysmal. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm glad the bar lost. I'm not going to be one of them, like Shane McGuigan saying, oh, he'll win and when really deep down, Shane will be sat at home with his old boy saying, listen, I hope he gets done him. But they're not going to come out and say it, are they? Because they're cowards. A lot of them. Just tell it straight. You have a guy who you like, and we usually like somebody for how they conduct themselves in the ring and outside the ring. I like what Usyk stands for, and he's my favourite fighter, so I wanted him to win.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Dubar's a big dummy, a big stiff. He don't move his head. He's not engaging, and I just can't. I'm not buying into him just because he's got a dig on him. That's it. Other than that, I don't buy into it. I do Wilder because he's got a dig, but you can buy into his personality. He's like Benny from Crossroads, isn't he, Dubar?
To be honest with you, I I always support the British fighter. I'm British myself, but I wanted Usyk to win. Usyk's one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
And I followed him a long time, and I wanted him. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted him to win tonight.
Yeah.
I want to see that undisputed. But when I think about that, and I tell myself that that's just a delusion. You're completely lost in translation if you think that undisputed fight's ever going to happen. Personally,
Well,
I
why
don't.
don't Bricktop get Dubar and Usyk on at Wembley and pay Usyk what he's due because he hasn't got the money and they can't get it together in UK, can they? You know what I mean? But what we're going to get now in next few weeks is Usyk Dubar rematch, Saudi or London or Vegas or Africa or Ukraine when it's rebuilt. We're going to be going round in circles with the merry-go-round. Throw Fury in mix, the Ongano rematch or Inter rematch, Fury undisputed, 70-30, 60-40, 50-50. We're getting Anthony Joshua into mix, Nigeria for him and Wild. Listen, cesspit. It's a cesspit.
So Russell, so after watching the Philip Hergovich Dempsey McQueen fight, you watched that performance from Hergovich.
Usyk will tear him
Yeah.
on Hergovich. He deals with him, and he's already done Joyce, so he'd do him again, and that Zhang's a big stiff as well. He'd do him. And Zhang won't have an advantage because Usyk's a southpaw like him. So if they want to keep putting people in front of my man, he'll deal with them.
Yeah, and I think it's all about money and it's all about cashing out. It's all about revenue. Personally, I think Frank Warren will scream for weeks on this.
Listen, you'll not be able to get Umar out of Frank's trousers.
Let's be honest. How could Bob Dandinu be a final eliminator for Trevor Bryant? How could that happen?
It's a joke, mate. It's a joke. The disrespecting the belts. But listen, let's change subjects now. For the last 5 minutes. Let me throw a curveball at you. Where's part 2 a Big Malk's Nigel Benn interview because I've been told that he's been pulled. Pop, pop.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Hey, where's part
Brilliant.
two after sending it to TalkSport? Well, look what we've got. Look what we've got. Instead of just putting it out on your channel, look what they did. They went and put it on TalkSport. And then look what you've had. You've had people got to him and it's been took down. Where's part two, Big Malk?
That was stupid, wasn't it? Was there content?
They can't hold their own water, can they? That's
That
what's
was
gone
their
on.
own content.
They've deprived us and Nigel Benn threatening to kill Spencer Oliver.
This is the man that's on talking about being a born again Christian and
Oh
being a reformed character and
Big
talking
Mal.
about
Nigel
about
Benn,
the Lord,
Benn.
talking about every time he mentions Christianity, he's taking the Lord's name in vain.
Yeah.
Disgraceful.
Yeah, it is. Not a disgraceful a bricktop screen for a rematch. They'd do out to stop us having Undisputed, wouldn't they?
Listen, Russell, Frank Warren knows Team Usyk have to go with Hrgovic next. That purse split is going to be nothing. Yeah. Nothing.
4 million.
Usyk will earn nothing from that. And I mean nothing. What is bigger for them and Usyk? Is it, and it's going to be just the same. It's the same level of fight. Usyk Dubois rematch. Does it generate more than Usyk Hrgovic?
Listen, Usyk won't be bothered. He'll just have it as a sparring match, put a few more million in bank and just carry on, because why should he park his career up waiting for Fury, who everybody knows is going to fight in May against Ngannou? That's the date the talk. He's in a rematch. So that means Fury's not going to be able to fight till back end of 24 if there's any Undisputed. By that time, Usyk will have probably had 2 more fights, won't he?
Usyk's 36, right? And he's had a really, really long, illustrious career. There's a lot of wear and tear on him. Probably 300 plus amateur fights. At a lot of them are elite level. So there's a lot of wear and tear.
350.
Yeah.
335 wins, 15 losses, 10 of which he rematched.
Yeah. So that's a long career. He's been out of the ring a year and a week. Yeah. He can't afford to have another year like that. I guarantee it. I could see Usyk fighting again with skills challenge. Yeah, backing him. They need that. They want to have him active. They want to have him. He now is an advertisement for skills challenge. He is the poster boy of them. He has to be active now, and they will keep him active, and they will pay any amount of money to get him out to build that fight between Fury. Personally, I don't think that's going to happen, but Usyk is going to need to have another. He can't afford to have another year of inactivity.
Yeah. Okie dokie then. Well, listen, Kent, thanks for coming on. I'll get this out straight away.
All right, Russell.
You take care and go get your
all the best.
Peace out. Cheers, pal. Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Well, that was Kent from Belfast in Northern Ireland. Women love him. Men want to be him. So, pop, pop, bang. Bit of advice to all you people out there fighting southpaws if you're an orthodox. Don't let them get into a rhythm like Daniel Dubois did. All right, you got to jump on them. If you want to learn how to fight southpaws, go watch Carl Froch against Brian McGee and Carl Froch against Butte. All right, thanks for subscribing and leaving a comment. Peace out.